welcome to God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson. Reach him at gods5minutes@gmail.com. Now, here's Ed Wilson with God's 5 Minutes.
Hello, friends. Isaiah 28:24-29 reads, Doth the plowman plow all day to sow? Doth he open and break the clods of his ground? When he hath made plain the face thereof, doth he not cast abroad the fitches, and scatter the cummin, and cast in the principal wheat, and the appointed barley, and the rye in their place? For his God doth instruct him to discretion, and doth teach him. With these words and more, the foremost prophet of the Old Testament rehearsed to us some wisdom from the ancient practice of farming, working the soil to make it feed the world. Farming's no occupation for people who can't manage their finances. Many a job in our workaday world is a payday every Friday for work performed in a building erected by others, reliant on planning and resources procured and maintained by others, overseen by others, and marketed by others. Many a modern employee is basically a cog in a machine. Farming's not like that at all. It's for self-reliant types. For people who are patient enough to procure and plow a field in the spring, plant it to a suitable crop, and then tend that crop through all the stages from seedling to harvest, without a dime of reward until the harvest is in the barn. The farmer who has no backup provisions for the long period between seed time and harvest got some hungry days ahead. Plowing can still be monotonous toil, with hours alone breaking open the soil and preparing it for a seed bed. It was more so in Isaiah's day, when a plowman spent many a weary hour watching the switching tail of his ox as it dragged the implement one furrow at a time through the soil. But that's the only way to make a crop. A farmer's sowing as reaping is governed by the soil types where the farm is situated. Fitches, a plant similar to celery but having a sweeter taste with hints of licorice flavoring, grows well in a wide range of soil. Cummin, which produces seeds used in curries, chili, tacos, enchiladas, grows best in sandy, loamy soils that have good drainage. A skillful farmer studies his soil to determine where on the land to plant the fitches, where the cummin, where the primary crop, which is always wheat, since it is the most useful and valuable, then the secondary rye and barley. Some crops can be scattered broadside on the soil that's been opened and smooth for the planting. Some must be planted in rows, clusters spaced apart, inserted well below the surface. Of course, the Lord was using this metaphor of planting, just as Jesus later did in his day, to teach us about reaching the hearts of people, which are the field of the Lord. There are no human souls that cannot be so toiled as to yield a harvest for the Master. He wants to reap a crop from each. No two of us are alike. Each of us need the gospel seed to be planted and cultivated according to the needs of our own individual spirits. Thank God that along with hinting this information to us, He also directed us to the source of the wisdom we need in every individual case. His God doth instruct him to discretion, and doth teach him. The term translated discretion means the ability to use sound judgment, and every caring parent can agree just how critical that is. Just because a family of children have the same parents does not mean they are each alike and can be handled the same way. Loving fathers and mothers are wise to bring each of their children before the Lord often and fervently, to ask Him how to plant the wheat and barley, fitches and cummin, that are the seed, after all, of happy spiritual lives. In just the same way, those who work with souls need wisdom from above to learn to spread the gospel with gentleness, kindness, and especially patient long-suffering. Many seeds planted in human hearts need time to mature, need to be watered by tears, have solid examples live before them, need to feel those sowing the seed provide constant love and support. Nicodemus came to Jesus by night and went away wondering, but the seed planted there at last blossomed into the spiritual harvest that made him be one to take Jesus down from the cross. Oh, have you talked to Jesus today?
You have been listening to God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson. Reach him by email at godsfiveminutes@gmail.com. Tune in next time to hear more encouraging thoughts from God's Word on God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson.